Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos in America, Parshas Acharei Mos, Erev Shabbos. Just all Parshas Kedoshim. You're on one Parsha, we're on another Parsha. I'm so thrilled to be back home, back in Eretz Yisrael. But which Parsha do I talk about this week? So I decided to hit something in the middle, because both America and Eretz Yisrael are celebrating the same, or have the same minhag, same custom, this Shabbos, which is called Shlissel Shabbos. Shlissel is a key. There's a minhagim to make challahs in the shape of a key, either to put a key inside of the challah or to make the challah itself look like a key. And it's supposed to be a segulah. It's supposed to be some kind of good omen for Parnassah, for one's livelihood for the year, because the months started to fall, which is why God took care of us. All kinds of very beautiful reasons. At the end of the day, by the way, there's only one good way, the one good segulah for getting for making Parnassah, for making a livelihood. That's getting a job. Now, be that as it may, the Shlissel. The Shlissel is always looked about, the Shlissel challah. So you make these challahs shaped as keys, or putting a key inside of a challah. This Shabbos is always seen as a Shabbos of it's a thing for us to be able to get something. So I don't think that it's a thing for us to be able to get something. I want to give it a different twist, which was, I heard from the Baba of Rav, which I think is something that is incredibly magnificent. That we know that on Pesach, we were zocha, we merited to have many, many brachas on Pesach. All the preparation that we did, all the mitzvahs that we did at the Seder, the matzah that we ate, the matzah is called michal de memenusa. It's called like God's bread. It's called michal de asfasa. It's called bread that has a healing ability to it. We know that it symbolizes the Yetzer HaTov. We know that we're told the chayav adam liras is a person has to see themselves as if they've left Egypt. And therefore we've done a tremendous amount of work on ourselves at the Seder if we used it correctly, if the whole Pesach we used it correctly. Last Shabbos we spoke about the concept of Acharei Mos. If we used all of that correctly, then we are filled with so many brachas. We received so many brachas. Receiving brachas is a great thing, but the bracha itself, if there isn't some kind of shmirah, some kind of protection for it, is sometimes a little bit useless. The Medrash tells over a beautiful parable of a king who invited his friend to come and to take from his treasury, and the friend comes and he takes all kinds of things from his treasury, and then the friend embarks on his return trip home, and as he's going home, he gets robbed. A bunch of marauders jump on him and they steal everything that he took from his friend. We say that was a beautiful thing the king did, that he gave him all this stuff, but it would have been more beautiful if he also sent a protective force with him to make sure that nobody would mug him. Because brachas are great, but if the shmirah doesn't come along, if the protection doesn't come along with the bracha, so then the bracha can't last. That's why we say Yivrecha Hashem. We say God is going to bless you v'yishmerecha, and He's also going to give you a shmirah. So He's also going to protect you. So we have to understand that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us all those brachas on Pesach, He gives us a chance also to have a shmirah, to have a protection. But that protection has to come from ourselves. It has to come from our own decisions and our own resolve of what we're going to do with all those brachas that we received. All that elevation that we received, all that ability to grow, all of that good feeling, all of that sense of the Geulah is on its way, of seeing the redemption coming, of seeing the bright light shining, of seeing that there is a direction to everything that we're doing. All of that inspiration that we got over Pesach, we are obligated to do the shmirah for that. We're obligated to take that and put it into our lives, to make that into something real, and to make that into something precious. On Yom Kippur, we have the last tefillah of Yom Kippur is called Ne'ilah. So we always look at Ne'ilah as being the time where God locks the gates. God locks the gates. And that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the year. Now, why don't we switch our heads a little bit? And why do we say the word Ne'ilah is when we lock the gates, when we realize that we have to do something about all this inspiration that we've had, from all these decisions that we've made, from all these prayers that we said, from all these times that we said we want to do tshuva, we want to change ourselves, that we at Ne'ilah make some real decisions of what next year is going to look like. Therefore, we're going to lock in all of those brachas, all those blessings that God has for us. Hashem gives us this Shabbos, the Shabbos right after Pesach, to lock in our brachas and to follow the path that we chose over Yontif. The Shlissel challah is not about what we can get. The Shlissel challah is a reminder of what we have to do. that we have to lock in these blessings. We have to lock in ourselves into that place that we achieved, into that incredible space that we got ourselves in after Pesach. We have to make sure that we stay on that space. We have to preserve our commitments, and we have to make these brachas stay with us throughout the year. The Shlissel challah is not magic. The Shlissel challah is an obligation and direction. It is God speaking to us, saying to us, remember, lock in the goodness, lock in the freshness, lock in the awesomeness, and make it work for you and grow for the rest of the year. Should have an amazing Shabbos. This should be the beginning of an amazing period of time. It should be the beginning of an amazing part of the rest of the year. There's so many exciting, awesome things coming up. Lock in that inspiration from Pesach and just fly onwards and upwards. Have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing Shabbos.